This is the Iowa Weather Report for Tuesday, July the 2nd, 2013. Now our first look at the 0Z GFS Model Run. As at 1 p.m. this afternoon, we still have an upper level feature over the mid-Mississippi River Valley. It's beginning to retrograde a little bit to the west-northwest, ridge over the western Atlantic, a ridge over the west. But around here, we'll have that upper level disturbance, as I said. That could spark off a few isolated afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms, be very hit or miss, and little if any precipitation with it, a few hundredths with highs in the upper 70s to low 80s. That looks to remain the same here on Wednesday. You see a high pressure overhead, but in the upper levels, there'll be that upper level feature that'll be producing some afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. As the minute the sun sets, the showers will die out. The same goes here for Independence Day. They'll be a little less numerous here on Thursday as the system begins to fill and lift out, but there still could be some afternoon and evening isolated showers and maybe a storm. Friday, the system begins to, and has since moved away. The GFS still wants to paint a few showers in the eastern counties. Otherwise, winds turn back to the south and temperatures warm well into the 80s. And that looks to be the key for this coming weekend. Winds out of the southwest at about 10 miles an hour or so, and highs well into the 80s. The humidity begins to increase, so it'll feel a lot like it should around Independence Day and into the weekend. Sunday, there's a system that'll be approaching, but with little if any rain showers, except for the moisture that'll be over the Gulf Coast up into the Mississippi River Valley. It'll be fairly warm or typical of July with highs in the 80s, and even into next week on Monday. The system begins to approach. We have the Gulf beginning to open up with some moisture, so there could be an isolated shower or storm here on Monday, but it'll be very hit or miss. A week from today, you can see we don't have that big wavy pattern. We have two 594 ridges, one over the southwest and one over the western Atlantic. The westerlies just to our north, but a little weakness in the center or in the middle part of the country should bring us a little more organized activity here on Tuesday of next week with some showers and thunderstorms. Severe weather is not looking very likely with this type pattern, but we'll have to wait and see. As we move into the extended period, you can see the 594 ring of heat goes up again over the southwest, specifically the Four Corners region, where they desperately want some cooler weather. Meanwhile, the east has a trough, but not a big trough, and that means we'll have a northwesterly flow, and we'll have frontal systems coming out of the northwest with some showers and thunderstorms, a little more on an organized basis as we saw earlier in the week, if this was to pan out. And at the end of the forecast here on the 17th, the 594 ring of heat begins to move up into Colorado and New Mexico and into the central plain states. We still have a northwesterly flow around here that's going to keep the heat at least at a pretty decent level, but we also have the northwesterly flow that's going to bring the ring of fire with some showers and thunderstorms that we saw about a week or so ago. So if this pattern was to pan out, we could be looking at some more active weather as we head to mid-July. The satellite image from last evening, we had the upper level feature over the Ohio Valley beginning to retrograde to the west-northwest. We had some clouds with some showers during the afternoon heating beginning to fizzle out over the west, and the clouds with the moisture stream over the east coast. And with that, here on the Watch Warning Map, flash flood watches from Georgia up the east coast to Maine. We also have the extensive heat advisories and excessive heat warnings out west, and in the middle of the country, it was fairly quiet. The QPF chart, precipitation over the next 5 days through Saturday evening at 7 o'clock, showing the heaviest rain will be over the southeast with that Gulf plume coming up from the Gulf. 3 to 5 inches of rain possible in the southeast. Around here, maybe a tenth of an inch of rain.